breaking news that will shake the entire league. Hold your breath, football fans, because the situation inside the facility has reached a boiling point. We are talking about a massive decision regarding the star quarterback position that will determine the survival of this franchise's season. Everything is on the line right now as we approach a win-or-go-home scenario against a divisional rival. If you love this team, you cannot miss this update. Before we dive into the deep details of this shocking report, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for the fastest updates in the league, and drop a comment right now with your name and the city you are watching from. We want to know where the fans are loudest. Now, let's get into the heart of the matter, because the news we just received changes everything for the upcoming weekend. I am reporting that the Indianapolis Colts have made a definitive decision regarding their leadership under center as they prepare for a must-win showdown against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Head coach Shane Steichen has officially confirmed that Philip Rivers will remain the starting quarterback for a third consecutive week. This comes amid heavy speculation that the team might activate Anthony Richardson Sr. from the injured reserve list, but those plans have been completely shelved for the time being. Anthony Richardson Sr. will not be activated this week, leaving the veteran Philip Rivers to pilot an offense that is currently fighting for its playoff life. The stakes could not be higher. The Colts enter this matchup on a devastating 5-game losing streak that has seen them plummet from a comfortable position to the very edge of elimination. They haven't tasted victory since their Week 11 bye, and the margin for error has evaporated. To even have a sniff at the 7th seed in the AFC, a spot currently occupied by the Houston Texans, Indianapolis must win out. But there is a cruel twist of fate in the schedule. The Colts will likely know if their season is already over before they even kick off on Sunday. The Houston Texans are scheduled to face the Los Angeles Chargers on Saturday. If the Texans win that game, the Colts are mathematically eliminated from playoff contention instantly. However, if the Chargers pull off a victory, the door stays cracked open for Philip Rivers to lead a miracle run. This brings us to the massive tactical dilemma facing Shane Steichen. By sticking with Philip Rivers, the Colts are banking on veteran experience and quick processing over the raw athleticism of Anthony Richardson Sr., who continues to deal with an eye injury. The statistical profile of this offense under Rivers has been a mixed bag. While the veteran provides a higher floor in terms of ball security and intermediate passing accuracy, the lack of a vertical threat and mobility has allowed defenses to compress the field. Looking at the injury report released on Christmas Eve, the news is concerning. Star cornerback Sauce Gardner is dealing with a calf injury and has missed 10 consecutive practices. While Steichen remains hopeful for his return, his absence has been a gaping hole in the secondary. On the interior, the legendary DeForest Buckner is nursing a neck injury after a grueling performance against his former team. If Buckner is limited or out, the Jaguars' rushing attack could find easy lanes through the heart of the defense. We also have to look at the offensive line. Rookie center Tanner Bortolini is in the concussion protocol. If he cannot clear the hurdles by Sunday, Danny Pinter will be forced into his starting role, which creates a significant mismatch against the Jaguars' defensive front. The status of left tackle Bernhard Raymond is also a major storyline. He missed the last game with an elbow injury, but was an estimated limited participant on Wednesday. For Philip Rivers to have any chance against a ferocious Jacksonville pass rush, he needs his blindside protector. The tactical battle between the Colts receivers and the Jaguars secondary is where this game will be won or lost. With Anthony Gould sidelined, the emergence of Josh Downs becomes even more critical. Interestingly, the Jaguars are facing their own injury crisis in the secondary. Starting slot corner Jordan Lewis is battling a foot injury. If Lewis is unable to play, Josh Downs will likely face a backup or a moved safety, which is a matchup Philip Rivers must exploit. Furthermore, with Greg Newsome II also on the injury report for Jacksonville, the Jaguars might be forced to start Jerry Jones on the outside. This is where the veteran savvy of Rivers comes into play. He has spent his career identifying these specific personnel weaknesses and attacking them relentlessly. From a salary cap and roster management perspective, the decision to keep Philip Rivers in the starting role while Anthony Richardson Sr. stays on IR is a fascinating study in short-term survival versus long-term development. The Colts are essentially signaling that they believe Rivers gives them the best 1% chance to make the postseason, even if it means delaying the crucial developmental reps for their young franchise quarterback. Financially, the team has already committed heavily to this season, and a total collapse would be catastrophic for the front office's job security. We must also consider the historical context. The Colts have struggled immensely in Jacksonville over the years, and while this game is at home, the psychological weight of the 5-game skid is heavy. The defense, led by coordinator Gus Bradley, needs to find a way to generate pressure without blitzing, as Trevor Lawrence has historically picked apart zone coverages when given time. The health of JT Tuimoloau and his oblique injury is paramount here. If the Colts can't get home with 4 rushers, Philip Rivers will be forced into a high-scoring shootout, which is a dangerous game to play at this stage of his career. The projected weather and home field advantage at Lucas Oil Stadium should help, but the energy in the building will be tense. The fans are restless after a month of disappointment. If the Texans win on Saturday, this game becomes a pride-only affair, which would be a tragic end to a season that once held so much promise. However, if the stars align, Philip Rivers has the chance to cement his legacy in Indianapolis with a legendary comeback performance.
The offensive game plan will likely involve a heavy dose of the quick passing game to neutralize the Jaguars' edge rushers. Expect to see a lot of Ashton Dulin, who is returning to full participation, and perhaps an increased role for Tyler Goodson if his ankle holds up. The return of Drew Ogletree at tight end would also provide a much-needed safety valve for the veteran quarterback. This is a crossroads moment for the Indianapolis Colts. Will they crumble under the pressure of the 5-game skid, or will the veteran leadership of Philip Rivers ignite a spark that carries them through the finish line? The impact on the locker room cannot be overstated. Players like Michael Pittman Jr. and Jonathan Taylor are in their prime and don't want to waste seasons on a losing streak. The decision to stick with Rivers is a bet on the now. As we wait for the final injury designations and the result of the Texans-Chargers game, the tension in Indy is palpable. This is the definition of a blockbuster week in the NFL. Stay tuned because the fallout from this game will resonate throughout the entire offseason, regardless of the outcome. We will be here to cover every snap, every injury update, and every quote from the locker room as this drama unfolds.